Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Pop Collectors Alliance podcast. It's been way too long to get this episode out, but we're glad you're back. This episode is titled Welcome to Funko HeroWorld. I'm your host, Rick, joined by my co-host, Piper.
Yeah!
And we're charged up on this Thursday evening. You will be hearing this live on Saturday morning. It won't be live, but still.
It's not going to be live at all.
But you can pretend. We're recording it live right now. Again, this is the only podcast on the internet devoted to returning collecting back to the pop collector. And just to update you where we were the past couple of weeks, a lot of stuff going on. If you listened to our last episode before the Christmas break, you could tell that we were both hurting, physically sick, and took me about another week to get over that. And then we found out, unfortunately, right after New Year's that our dog had cancer, and then we had to put him down about 5 days later. So it's kind of been a roller coaster of a ride, but we're back with you guys, and we got a pretty good episode coming up. Any updates from you from the holiday break, Piper?
No. I'm alive. I can breathe again. I'm only sick in the head now, no longer in the body.
Just mentally deranged.
I have mental issues still. They persist.
The voices have come back.
They tell me not to buy anything that Funko tries to sell me that is not a pop.
There you go. And that kicks off with our first story this week. If you haven't heard already, or you live in a cave somewhere, Funko announced that they're coming out with a new line of vinyl collectibles. And that line is... It's like the one guy in the crowd. You can do it! But you're like, boo!
Get out of here. Nobody wants you.
But the line is called Funko HeroWorld. And I guess it's taking the theme of heroes, but interesting that you boo it, because when I was at Funko Fun Days, they announced a lot of lines and licenses that they were coming out with, and everybody's cheering for all the pop lines. They're like, oh, James Bond is going to come out, and they showed upcoming lines of new releases. They're going to re-release the He-Man Masters of the Universe, all of that stuff. And everyone's like, yeah, this is so awesome. And then they go, and Dorbs. And then the room fell silent.
It was just a parade of crickets.
Exactly. And then it went from Dorbs to vinyl. And no one said anything. And then I think they showed a couple images of pop, and people started clapping again. And they brought some life back to the room. But I'm telling you, it fell dead. It was just like golf clap. It was like, oh, and we're announcing the James Bond line. Everyone's like, yeah. Woo! And then they go, and now more Dorbs. And everybody goes.
You just hear.
One single person in the background clapping. You can do it, Funko. I mean,
it's the PR manager. He's like super stoked about it because it was his idea.
Yeah, no, he's yelling in the background. I was like, this is my idea.
He's the only reason that Dorbs exist is just because his daughter likes them.
There are some people that do enjoy the Dorbs line, and me, there's an occasional Dorbs that I really like. I like the Masters of the Universe chases because they have like a disco version of the Skeletor. That's what they call them, with the orange face. It's like a copy of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive one, and I do like the holographic ones they're coming out with. They did the Darth Vader one recently. I think that looks pretty cool, but for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of Dorbs.
No, there's been a few that are cool. Like we got those Pop in a Box did the Venom Pool ones. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, they do hit a home run sometimes with some of the designs, but there's only
it's like
so
1 in
much,
100.
Yeah, they're just miniature snowmen. That's all it is. It's like a whole bunch of miniature snowmen. And can I get this right with this miniature snowman with a smiley face? But anyways, Funko HeroWorld. The emphasis is on heroes. Some of the lines, Target just got lamb blasted with a ton of them. There's some 5-packs that they have out there. Piper and I were talking before the show, like a Power Rangers, Teen Titans Go. What are the other ones?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, and like they have some 2-packs. And I would assume what they're trying to target with this is those little Titan metal toys or similar items that are in that category of collectibles. And I don't even know how Titan Toys is doing with their little tiny metal figures. They look horrific if you've ever seen them.
No, okay, so those are not the worst. The worst ones that I've seen are these nano metal figs, which those are a little bit smaller, but they literally just look like it's the vague shape of a superhero that they just dipped in paint. There's like no like there's no features on them that you can tell at all.
Yeah, and that's the
It's
same.
the
It's
all those metal
hard.
figures are awful.
It's hard to get the paint on there with the ones I'm trying to think of. The Harry Potter. So they have a whole line of Harry Potter, and now the Titan little. I think I might be misstating the company that makes them, but I think they're Titan Toys because Titan typically comes out with those metal figures.
No, they're actually made by this company called Metals Diecast. They're the group that make a lot of like cars and stuff, but they also do the metal figs and the nano metal figs, and both of those lines are absolutely atrocious.
The metal figures, the bigger ones, I actually have a couple of them. I think I bought a couple exclusives they came out with for Target because I like the White Ranger version, and I also have like an Iron Man. When they first started making stuff, I was like, wow, that looks pretty cool and it's heavy. But again, I think I got Titan Toys mixed up with them because Titan does like blind boxes too, and they're kind of like Kid Robot or something. So I apologize, but again, that's their competition, and I don't really think Funko has a lot of competition in that realm. It's not big enough or large enough to be an action figure. It's kind of in between. So it's still a collectible, not a toy. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's room for growth here.
I don't understand it. Like, cause yeah, I agree. That's the closest thing to the way that the Hero World figures look, but they're not metal, but they're styled very similarly, I think, to the metal figs. But they're like really skinny, and they have a very, I don't know, it's a very specific look to them. It's not a good look, but it's definitely a look.
I mean, it's not as detailed as a pop figure, but again, they don't have these ultra detailed lines. They're not doing anything that's super detailed, anyways, like the Power Rangers and DC Comics and things along those lines.
Yeah, it's all like superheroes that are pretty like no matter what you do, as long as you get the colors right, they're gonna match up. But it's kind of like so it reminds me of the vinyl series, like the new vinyl series they did, but if they were to stretch them out and not make them so fat. That's the only way that I can explain it if people have not seen them.
Yeah, it's if they made mystery minis, the Stranger Thing mystery minis, that style of mystery mini, but just a larger size. They made them real big. Yeah, just a larger size. I don't know if there's market space here for anything to grow. I probably won't be collecting these items. If you're excited about it, we love to hear about it. You can email us at info@popcollectorsalliance.com or hit us up on our Facebook page and tell us what you like or dislike about it.
Yeah, I can't see myself. I mean, okay, so the Power Ranger ones are pretty cool. I will say that. And I like Teen Titans. That's just me though. I collect Teen Titans stuff. But I went to Target today, and they got their shipment in, and they're kind of over by the Funko by the pop stuff over in the movie section. But instead of having them nicely out on display, I believe this is just a sign to show us where these are going. All of these were just look like somebody had dumped the box out on the floor and then just pushed them up onto the shelf. They looked like a trash pile. And nobody had moved them, looked through them, or touched them since they were put out. So
yeah, and I don't know if they're going to come out with chase variants of these, or I'm seeing exclusives already. Maybe convention exclusives. They might have limited edition sets of these. I'm sure they're going to do something for San Diego this year. Interested to
maybe
see what
we'll package it with Pez, so we can get one of these. These heroes with a matching Pez.
There you go. The Hero World Pez 2-pack. There you go. You heard it first here on the Pop Collectors Alliance.
We called it.
But again, in my personal opinion, just a ploy to get some more shelf space. Because that's what they said one of their goals for 2018 was to gain more shelf space across the product line. So maybe there's just going to be, I mean, there already is a Funko section dedicated at Target, but maybe we'll have a Funko aisle. Maybe that's their goal. And more power to them. If you sell more of these, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to partake in this unless they come out with maybe some San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. It would be cool to add to my collection. If they come out with Dragon Ball Z, I might hop into it. I would consider them a hero line. So you never know. Fingers crossed. But tell us what you think of Funko Hero World. Again, info at popcollectorsalliance.com, on Twitter and Instagram at Pop Alliance Pod, and then our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/popcollectorsalliance. We want to hear from you, and we've been getting a lot of feedback on our Facebook page and a lot of participation.
Crazy amount. Crazy.
So we like to hear from you guys, whether it's good or bad. We can always improve and want to hear from you. Also, if you haven't already, go online and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, wherever podcasts are sold. Unfortunately, this one is not sold, but download it there. If you like what you hear, like I hope most of you do, please give us a 5-star rating. You don't have to review. If you just give a rating, it goes a long way in ranking our podcast a little bit higher, so some more Funko fanatics out there can get this podcast. So thanks again for doing that in advance. So the other thing I want to talk about was ECCCCCCCCCCC. Emerald City Comic-Con is coming March 1st through the 4th. I should be attending this event. I have a press pass. I want to cover it from a pop perspective and then do a little bit of Astro Panda work there. But if you are in the Washington area, and I know some of our fans are, and you plan to attend Emerald City Comic-Con, you can hit me up. But just message me on the Facebook page. That's where we get most of the conversations going. So you can click that on our Facebook page and just message me, let me know what you're doing at the event, and if you want to come by and say hi. And it looks to be like there are going to be quite a few Funko exclusives, and they already have a lottery. So if you're going to attend and you didn't know already, you can go to Emerald City Comic-Con's website, and then there's links on there to enter the Funko lottery if you're planning to attend. I really and personally believe that this is the best way to do Funko sales at an event. Unfortunately, at San Diego Comic-Con, they will not allow a pre-lottery because they think that if people don't win the Funko lottery, they're not going to show up to San Diego Comic-Con. So they will not allow a pre-San Diego Comic-Con lottery. But I think this is the best way. That way you know before you go whether or not you're going to get in that Funko line, because waiting outside for 24 plus hours is not fun.
So I'm not doing it.
Grumpy.
I'm just grumpy because somebody didn't invite me to go to Emerald City.
Oh yeah,
that's
didn't
why.
Invite you. Okay, we'll just leave it at that then.
So yeah, only Ricky will be at Emerald City. You can go talk to Ricky.
Yeah, and then you can send Piper your love through me, and then I'll bring it back to him, and and
he'll throw it in my face.
Yeah, and say, "Oh, look, I met all these great people there." But if you haven't already, I think we'll post an image on this week's show notes and also on our Facebook page for some of the exclusives. I think they have a couple of lists out there for some of the items that they're going to be releasing. Of course, they never tell you everything, but I'm anxious to see what of the limited edition exclusives are going to be at this year's Emerald City Comic-Con. So the last thing we get to this week before we get into our Finder Series Volume 5, GameStop and ThinkGeek, is we want to announce our next live Cost Plus shipping event. Our first one was pretty much a success. I like how it went in.
I think it was good.
It far exceeded my expectations, and we really had a good time with everybody who joined. So the next Cost Plus shipping live event will be on Saturday, January 20th. That's next Saturday, January 20th.
We might need to start announcing these in further advance.
Yeah.
Instead of just like springing them on people.
Well, I think most of the people that gave us feedback like that it's on a weekend. It gives you some time to adjust. And everyone, I'm a Steelers fan. So last time I did Cost Plus shipping, it was the week that we played the Patriots during the regular season. So I did a little sacrifice too. So you can sacrifice just a little bit. And I don't even know when the AFC Championship game and divisional round, all of those things are going to happen next week. So I'm probably going to be giving up something else to do this live event. But again, follow us on Facebook, like our Facebook page. You'll get more information on that. We're going to change the rules up a little bit this time to sort of make things go a little bit faster and we'll have awesome giveaways. And our theme is superheroes this time. So there'll be some extra items that might not exactly fit that genre, but for the most part, everything's going to be superhero oriented. And we would like for you to join us. That's again on Saturday, January 20th. And we'll do it the same 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Mountain, I believe, is 5 and West Coast is 4. So figure it out. I say that every time.
So as a gift to everyone, especially people that are planning on joining, I'll leak a little a preview. So one of the big items that we will have will be a Marvel Pop that is autographed. Just let that simmer in your brain.
So if you're into autograph pops, which I know a lot of people are, I think personally it's a great item. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
It is, and it's really affordable price too. So it will be a definitely a great grab for somebody.
And if you're not familiar with our cost plus shipping events, what they are is a way for us to give back to the community for some of the items that have recently released or have been released in the past, maybe vaulted, that you can no longer get, but we give them to you at cost plus shipping. So last time we did a Crota chase at cost plus shipping. We also did a Hawk Girl chase at cost plus. Catwoman chase? I'm sorry.
Catwoman chase. There is no Hawk Girl chase.
Yeah. DC Bombshells Catwoman chase at cost plus shipping. And then we did Beerus cost plus shipping. A lot of great items that people were able to get for a great price, and everybody was happy about that. So again, next Saturday, January 20th, our second live cost plus shipping event. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, all of the likings to find out more information about that. Now, finally, we can move on to our Finder Series, Volume 5, GameStop and ThinkGeek. And as always, we always give this disclaimer that when we rate these stores, they are out of our own experiences of our friends and people that we see online, where groups that we are members in or other groups that pass information to us. This is not saying that every store fits this pattern, every layout's the same, every employee's garbage or non-garbage. We are just basing this off of our experiences. So, like we start every week with the pros, this week is GameStop and ThinkGeek. And I don't know if I said that before, but it is GameStop and ThinkGeek, and we decided to bunch those together. They're owned by the same company, and they carry each other's exclusives, so why not bunch them together? And my first pro for GameStop and ThinkGeek is that there is a huge selection of pop at both of these stores. ThinkGeek has a little bit more than GameStop, but they both do a great job of selling pop and having a very wide variety of pop in their inventory. Often in ThinkGeek stores, you can expect it to be 20 to 25% of their shelf space in the store. And for GameStop, this can be about 15 to 20% depending on the GameStop stores. A lot of GameStop stores now also have like a mixture of both GameStop and ThinkGeek, where they have a GameStop on one side and you can walk right over to more of a collectible themed store. They've been taking this approach for a while now. Not every GameStop has that, but that wide selection of collectibles, but most of them are moving towards that direction.
Their exclusives tend to be fairly average for the most part, but there are quite a few that are really above and beyond, and those are usually the video game exclusives, like the 2-pack Mortal Kombat and the Destiny exclusives. Those are absolutely awesome, but it's kind of they're hit or miss. So I would say their exclusives are right. They get an average rating. Yeah,
and some of those video games exclusives too, like the Overwatch pops, they tend to be above the average exclusive, but this is just limited to those. So I put it as a pro because, hey, if you're into video games, of course GameStop's a sort of go-to, but also GameStop does a great job of their video game pops. Also, employees are very familiar with the product. I would say on the ThinkGeek side, I know personally a couple store managers, and they've actually gone on to be the managers, district managers of collectibles, working at corporate. So they do a great job of taking care of their product there at ThinkGeek for sure. And then most GameStop employees are collectors themselves, so they are really familiar with the product.
ThinkGeek has started setting up at local conventions, just like we had talked about FYE doing. So it's another way to bring more rare and exclusives to the collector audience.
Also, their online warehouses usually take great care of shipping and packaging the product. They took a step up from last year. So I believe all of these online retailers got a lot of dings from people talking about damaged pops. They probably received their fair share of pops back as returns because so many items were damaged. So you notice that Hot Topic and Box Lunch started boxing exclusives individually. And then GameStop actually put these little dividers in their boxes when they ship pop to the customers. So they've done their due diligence in figuring out a way to ship pop to you, and they do a good job of it.
Now, this is not to say that they do an exceptional job about every single time. Like we just had issues when we ordered those Destiny Pops, the Zur and the Atheon. Yeah, those didn't come very good.
Those did not come very good, but again, we didn't think that it was due to shipping. That was probably...
No, it was some jackhole in the warehouse decided just to ship us pops that he stepped on.
Exactly. And I'll get to another item when we get to the cons too.
Pre-order setup is the best of any retailer, and typically you can pre-order products way in advance of the actual releases. This is one of my favorite things about GameStop is the fact that I know something is coming out. I don't have to fight with people about it. I don't have to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for it to go live. I just have to go in and be like, hey, high school bro, I need to order all these pops, give them to me. And I get them. I'm guaranteed those pops, and I don't have to worry about it. I love it.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. Also, their mystery boxes are amazing. And not everybody's going to agree with me on this one. Again, that's why I put the disclaimer out there. This is based on my experiences with GameStop and ThinkGeek, but I really enjoy their holiday mystery boxes. And they also do a genuinely good job of putting out mystery boxes throughout the year too. They had some of the Street Fighter ones. They had, and at Christmas time, they do a good job of getting stuff out there. And this year it was awesome because a 1 in 5 chance at chases for all of the chases that came in the mystery boxes are really good. And unlike Hot Topic, when you get a mystery box, like Hot Topic does just one pop, you can generally tell what pop that is if you just set it on a scale. And Hot Topic's been cracking down on that. But with GameStop, it's not as easy to do that with their mystery boxes.
That's just because you love the Predator.
Yes.
And you have all of the Predator pops.
All 20. I should just do a picture of my Predator army. With like
just like cover yourself in them like you're bathing in them in the bathtub, just like tons of Predators.
Yeah, with my 2 Chase Commander Predators. They're like the commanders of their divisions. Oh man. But I do love that glow in the dark one. It is really cool. They did a good job of that. So now to the cons. Chases and rare exclusives are very difficult to find here. Now this was hard for me to rate it because pre-orders are so awesome here. But if you don't pre-order stuff at GameStop or ThinkGeek, most of the time with GameStop exclusives, especially the rare items or chases, if you didn't pre-order, you're not getting them. It just, the pre-orders go, chases go to the pre-orders, and most of the time when a hot item comes out, let's say Zur or Atheon from Destiny or Posh Tracer, all of these items, the metallic blue Ranger that was a GameStop, they were pre-orderable, and if you didn't get them, some of them didn't even restock. Others, it took a while to restock. So you want to get your hands on it quick because you're not going to be able to find it in the store.
I got burned with the American McCree on that exact thing because I forgot when they came out. I went in and it was too late, and he was like, "Sorry, guy, you're not getting it." And I had to wait. How long did I have to wait? I had to wait like 6 or 8 months to get my hands on one because I wasn't gonna pay more than retail for that one. But I'm so happy I finally was able to get a hold of it. That is a big issue for me right there. Online inventory tracks products, but available quantity often includes pre-orders. So it can be very deceiving when you're trying to figure out what your local store is going to have.
Yeah, and the online store is difficult to navigate. And I'm seeing this more and more with a lot of the retailers. When you go online, you find a placeholder in a Funko group. If you go on that website sometimes, you won't be able to even see it at all. So, for example, with the Rose Goku, when it came out, I searched for Rose Goku on Hot Topic. I could not find it. And a lot of times that's the same when you type in searches for some of the newer items that they may get. You really are reliant on placeholders there. And often when they do their convention exclusive releases, the site tends to crash. I think we're on one good convention from them coming off of New York City Comic Con. That was almost seamless with GameStop. They didn't have any processing issues. We'll have our fingers crossed for the upcoming conventions. But in the past, they have not been great with handling of online orders during that time. Rarely do ThinkGeek and GameStop offer the best deals. It's hard to find good deals in these stores. Now, this is based off of my personal experience. When I compare them to a Hot Topic where it's 3 for $27 at any given time, BOGO, buy two, get one free, or Hot Topic scales their prices up and down. ThinkGeek used to do a better job of it, but I think their volume is going down. So where they used to have buy four, get one free, or buy three, get one free. Now it's buy three for $30. So it's not all bad with their prices, but again, you can go to Walmart and get some of the commons that you'll see there for $8.98, or you can go to Target and get those for $8 as well. So you're not really saving a ton of money with their prices, but they do a good job of their clearances at least.
Yeah, getting a deal at GameStop is really a matter of staying on top of their weekly ads, because sometimes you will get a buy one get one free, but that's usually when they're trying to clear out like old convention exclusives or just stuff that they can't move. So you're really kind of hard pressed, especially in a bigger area or high population or a high population of collectors. You're not going to get the greatest of stuff. But like for me, where it's a lot easier to get a hold of things in smaller towns, you're able to, kind of take advantage of that buy one, get one free, or buy two, get one half off, or whatever the last one was. I was able to pick up a couple of ones that I missed from New York City Comic Con, and they just happened to be laying around. So the deals do exist. It's just a matter of you have to stay on top of what their weekly ad is offering.
Yeah, and ThinkGeek also has a select number of stores. So if you're not in a highly populated area or city, you probably don't have a ThinkGeek around you.
Yeah, like us.
The other thing that I wanted to input in here, if you didn't know, there was a controversy this year with GameStop and the warehouse people handling the chases. And by handling, I mean 5-finger discount out the front door of all the Frodo chases. That
handling it into their backpack.
Yes, exactly. So I would say that that's a con. It's not a huge con for me because typically when stuff like that happens, people get weeded out immediately. So especially when you're stealing things. So it's just a mild con. But with that, our overall rating this week, GameStop and ThinkGeek are a surprisingly good team and complement each other when they carry these pop items with their high pop inventory and variety and selection. With great and rare exclusives, the availability to pre-order exclusives in-store and online, and employees that often collect and are familiar with the product, they score tons of positive points. However, with the pre-orders hurting the availability to find chases in the wild and get your hands on those rare exclusives on the shelves, it drops them down a few points. And I want to say few deals on the product, but I like to rescind that. I don't think they have, compared to other stores, they don't have as many deals, but their clearance section is out of this world. It's a great place to do it. So I'll take that back. And for that, instead of a 7, I'm going to award them a 7.5. So there you go. 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to award a GameStop and ThinkGeek this week. Yay. You got a 0.5
Clap.
At the end. So GameStop and ThinkGeek, where to find them. Store layouts vary, but generally they are located in the same areas. I would say that your stores are going to be different wherever you go. Their GameStops are tiny stores anyways to begin with. So they're just on the side of the store somewhere. They're easy to find. You'll never have that. All stores have a dedicated pop section that, like I said, is easy to find. And the clearance and convention exclusives are the only items that typically migrate towards the center or front of the store.
If you're looking for convention exclusives, those are generally going to be at the front of the store on like a magical special table where they have all the good things.
Yeah, I think he does this a lot too. Sometimes GameStop will put them behind the register on the days. Some stores keep them back there. I've seen both of these, so just a heads up on that. But their mystery minis and blind boxes are typically kept behind the registers or just to the right or left of that area. And I think that's due to inventory control because, man, mystery minis have got to be easy to steal. Not that I steal them, but I would assume
People like to take them to the back or the back corner of the store and pop them open looking for that 1 in 36 or that 1 in 72.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you can take an item off the shelf, steal it, and then sell it for like $80, and it's reasonably cheap to do so, people do it. It's just the nature of things, unfortunately. That brings us to our hunting tips this week. We have a few for you. First hunting tip is keep up to date with the pre-order list. I can't stress this enough. Keep up to date with the pre-order list all the time. That thing is updated almost daily. If you're an avid collector and you collect everything, I would say call once a day. I mean, you could do that. I mean, you could. And say, do you have any updates? And then pre-order things. Go in the store, pre-order. I tend to do it once a week to see and also hawk yourself over those releases. If Funko's tweeting out new releases, GameStop could have them up already. There have been instances where I have pre-ordered items before they were announced publicly. So again, check that pre-order list because it's so vital to getting an exclusive or a chase there.
I tend to make it a habit that once a week I will go into my GameStop and I'll ask them to print off a list of all the pre-orders. So that way, if I don't know for sure what they have coming in, I can go home and look through that list and kind of highlight and figure out what it is that I want to pre-order. And I can go back in later and be like, okay, I want all this. But I make it a habit to do it once a week. So that way I'm not missing anything.
And most stores will print that list out for you. I think all stores will actually.
Yeah, I think that's a normal like mandate. You ask for it and they'll give it to you. They'll print it off for you.
Even though it's like 7 pages long.
Who cares? We don't care about trees. We need to know what pops are coming out.
Ain't nobody care about no trees.
Get out of here, trees.
Also, hunting tip number 2, always check the clearance bin. Often exclusives are marked with deep discounts, and the biggest story I have for that is Ramsey Bolton. Now, if you're a flipper, this here on this podcast, we always say to all of our fans, this is truly and utterly a no flip zone. So if you are a flipper, this is probably news for you, but I got Ramsey Bolton there very cheap. And he's worth like $20 now and going up like all the Game of Thrones pops. I think I got him out of their clearance bin for $8.25. And I got him on a Power Up Rewards weekend where it was buy one, get one free for all clearance items. So, and sometimes Power Up Rewards are buy one, get two free. So again, check the clearance bin for pop there because you can find a lot of good deals. I'm going to give an expert tip this week. We typically don't do it. There are 3 expert tips. You can go to our website, popcollectorsalliance.com. Look at the show notes for our expert tips. That's where they're stored every week. So go to our website again, popcollectorsalliance.com, to get all of the expert tips. But I want to give the most important one this week because I want to give back to our community without having to go to our website, but still go to our website because it means a lot to us. Pre-order any items that you see that are chases. Pre-order any items you see that have a chase and do it early as you can. Like I said before in the hunting tip above, when you get an item that comes in that's released by Funko, announced that it's going to be out in February and it's December, go to GameStop that day and order that pop. If it has a chase and you're between 1 and 3 for that store, more than likely you're going to get the chase because they'll have like 8 pre-orders. They'll come in a box and they'll get 2 or 3 chases. And normally the people, as you are in line for the pre-order, get those chases. And that's true for rare exclusives too. When an item comes in, GameStop typically doesn't order more than the ship set of what a pre-order is. That's why they put their pre-orders so far in advance. That's why they did the Jason Voorhees and the Freddy Krueger NES pops like 3 months before they're releasing so that people have time to pre-order and it's probably pay to order for them. So pre-order those items because you're going to get them. Most of the rare exclusives are only filled by pre-orders initially, and sometimes they don't even get restocked. So again, put your name on that list early for chase items as early as you can, and always look at those for those exclusives because you may not get a restock. So those have been our hunting tips of this week. And again, go to our website for the additional 2 expert hunting tips, popcollectorsalliance.com.
So where are the deals? At GameStop and ThinkGeek don't always have the best deals on pop. Like we have said, most of the time it's going to be buy one, get one is going to be your best bet. However, they do run really good deals on mystery minis, and the buy one, get one, and clearance deals are the best in town. Always check the clearance bin, like we have been kind of forcing down your throat. That is your treasure chest of awesomeness.
And also consider getting up a Power Up rewards card. I don't know what the price is. I think they're $25, and then they've also released
They're 25, yeah.
Yeah, and they've also released an elite Power Up rewards member card where you get double points. Now there's some things that you can get with these. You get a lot of coupons. You earn it sort of like Hot Cash for Hot Topic, but also what I mentioned before, they have weeks throughout the year where they do a Power Up week. And during those Power Up week, this is not even pop exclusive here. Their clearance items tend to be buy one, get 2 free. Buy one, get 2 free. Buy one, get 2 free. I got a lot of pint-sized heroes and little items I don't want to pay a lot for, but I want that in my collection. I do a lot of that during those events. So consider getting a Power Up rewards card.
They only carried the WWE pint-sized heroes. I would be happy.
Yeah, no.
Can't find them.
You can't always get all of the lines there. That's what ThinkGeek's for, because ThinkGeek puts a lot of additional product out on the floor because they have more floor space and they're solely dedicated to collectibles. So you can find more items at ThinkGeek, but unfortunately for Piper, he has exactly 0 ThinkGeeks.
No ThinkGeeks, no box lunch. I got to drive 2 hours to find one. That's great. I love it.
Ooh,
I don't love it.
Happy 2018. Maybe you'll get a ThinkGeek down there. The population is big enough.
I talked to a manager at Box Lunch, and supposedly, we might be getting one here if our mall does better.
Do better.
I need to go to the mall manager and be like, listen, dude, you need to do good. I need you to get big so that we can get a Box Lunch in here so that I can. Oh, when we get to stories, I got a story.
Get big, son.
Get big, son. Hashtag Riley reviews Overwatch. That's all I can say.
All right, so this week's collector story of the week, I thought long and hard about what story to put out this week. We encourage all of our followers and listeners to go online and give us your stories. We prefer it in our email, but if you want to message us on Facebook, the story that you'd like to talk about, we want to share the stories online. We have yet to receive any to date, a cool collector story, some item that you got that you've been waiting for, some generosity, something that you've done for a fellow collector to help them out. That's something that we want to hear because all I can seem to find are negative stories. Actually, I can.
Well, that's what the good stuff is, though. You want to hear that juicy stuff, and so it's going to be bad.
Man, I can't remember that UFC fighter's name where I'd do that as a story, or boxer's name. Sorry, there's a famous boxer. I think he's like a welterweight champion, and he had like a Funko emblem on his boxing trunks, and he's this huge Funko fanatic. I'll just do this brief story. He recently went to a children's hospital and brought like 300 pops and just gave them out to kids there. That was really cool of him to do. That's a good story of the week. Now to the bad news. Being part of Funko groups can be both a blessing and a curse. When I say that, I don't say it lightly because I'm a member of a wide range of groups, probably 40 groups, 30 groups, somewhere in there, of just various things from mystery minis to genres of Funko Pop lines like movies or Disney. All of these groups.
Just Golden Girl Pops. That's all.
The Golden Girls Funko group. Hashtag Golden Girls Funko. But no, there's some groups out there. The mystery mini groups and everything that you can think of that Funko products that they put out there, they have groups for. And I try to diversify myself in there because some people aren't members of other groups and you get valuable information from those groups. And we encourage all of our listeners to be a part of those groups as well. But again, sometimes it can be a real curse. And this is a discussion of flipping to, but more along the lines of just being inappropriate and being a terrible scum of a human being. But in one of my groups, there is an admin that is adamant about this war against flippers to the point where he or she goes, we'll just say that, to these individuals' Facebook pages, every group that they're in, and just stalks them. It's just going through waffle groups. He'll go through a waffle group and be like, is this person in our group? And then just do searches their names. This is the only way I can figure out how this person does this. And he goes to eBay and he can magically find, he always mentions he or she always
He
mentions,
gave it away already.
I'm killing it. He or she always mentions people on eBay that are selling a specific item. And then he just trashes them and then posts. This is what gets me. Posts private message conversations with these people where he just calls them out, like the military thing, defending your honor or whatever it is, where they call people who fake the military uniforms, which is a great thing to do. But again, they just call people out and they let them go on with their lives. But this guy or girl, I can't even, I've just killed that right now. This person messages people individually and then posts it in the group about doing these witch hunts and, oh man, I banned this person from the group because they're selling these items. Now, I just don't get where people go on this like witch hunt for people so much that they spend a large portion of their time hunting these people down, exposing them, quote unquote, to the community. And then they're just some sort of like modern day saint or vigilante that's standing up for the honor of the collector. Now, look, I don't like all the time when people flip. I don't like it. There's various items that you can flip and ways to flip. And if you listen to our first episode of the podcast, you'll know where we stand on flipping. And I always take an outside the box approach to why people may or may not sell something. But I would never, and I quote, I would never, ever go as far to call someone out for being a huge flipper. It's not my forte.
Well, it's because you have a life. You have better things to do than to just look through and try to embarrass somebody or call somebody out because they decided that they were going to sell something on the internet and try to make some money. I mean, it's honestly, when it comes down to it, there are way worse things that person could be doing on the internet.
Exactly. And why are you wasting your time to do it? And
I think that this person, neither he nor she, I think that they just need a hug, maybe, because it really boils down to, this was the person in like middle school that had nothing better to do than to run and like tell the teacher that old Jimmy is chewing gum and he's not allowed to have gum in the classroom, so he needs to go to detention.
Exactly. And
nonsense.
If you don't like flipping, that's fine with me. If you want to ban people in your group that flip, hey, more power to you. It's your right as an admin of that group. It's your right as an owner of the group. It's just great for you to be able to do that because it's a free country. You can allow whoever you want in and out of your group. I get it. No reason to put people on blast. I'm members of groups where people do things in a professional manner, where somebody could go into, there was just one today in my local DFW group. A person that I'm friends with and a very passionate collector who's also an admin of this group, there was just a guy bullying somebody, and the dude was trying to basically sell a pop for more than what it's worth, and he was just calling the guy out and just bullying him. And I say bullying, terminology, semantics, whatever. He was just on there being a jack, what?
He's just a jerk.
And the person got banned, but when they put a PSA out to the group that says going on somebody's feed and just arguing with them for the sake of arguing, name calling and making things personal will not be tolerated in the group. This has recently happened, and we have banned the person that did it. They didn't mention any names. They didn't put any personal messages up for the group to read. They handled the situation in a professional manner, and they made someone move on. My advice would be to these specific people that do this all the time. And it's not just this one individual. This is just something that ignited this rant from seeing it. But there's tons of people that do that. I would tell you is like, if you have a problem with flipping and you're a collector and you just, this item I want. It's not black and white. It really isn't. We have a poll up on our Facebook page this week that's talking about, hey, if you go to a store and you buy 2 pops, one to sell to pay for your pop and one to keep, is that flipping. Now, I'm not going to go into what we think on this podcast for that, but you can see that right now in the voting of that poll, it's neck and neck. It's 50-50. And what that shows is that a certain specific amount of people agree with it, that it's flipping. And then there's 50% that disagree that that's flipping. And to go and just say one instance is a case of flipping is unfair to the people. And I believe some of these individuals think that if you have a pop for 3 years and then it's worth $300, you sell it for $300, is flipping. And that's just ridiculous. So there's more to it than just the black and white. And the takeaway from this should be that even if you disagree with someone who flips, it's not necessary to call them out and to shame them. I always think of like slut shaming, and then this is like flip shaming. I just see a picture of the little dolphin with a tear coming down. It's like pointing at him.
Oh, the flipper's so sad.
So that's my story of the week. What's your story, Piper?
All right. So it is way less exciting than how passionate we just got. But so I was just on a trip to Ohio. I went to go see friend of the show, Matt. He helps out on the Cost Plus Shipping live stream. So everybody who joins the one on Saturday, you'll get to meet Matt most likely. So I went to go visit him, and we were going pop hunting while we were there. And the funny thing is, I've been looking for the Lord of the Rings mystery minis because they are awesome. Like, I just love the designs for all of them. So I'm on a hunt. I'm looking for the Hot Topic exclusive ones, and just any of them really in general, because around here we haven't got any of them yet. So I was up there in Ohio near Cleveland, and we went to one of the nice mall there, and we went into the Hot Topic, and they had them. I was like, oh sweet. So I grabbed 4 of them. They're like $8.99. Okay, whatever, not a big deal. So I check out. Okay. Then after we go there, I'm like, oh, cool. There's a box lunch here. Let's go in here and check them out. So I'm in there talking to the store manager, like I mentioned before. And as we were checking out, Matt goes, hey, they got your mystery minis, Piper. And I looked and I was like, oh, sweet. They have the Lord of the Rings mystery minis. Problem is, they were $7.99 instead of $8.99. I don't understand how the same company they're gonna have a dollar difference of the same exact product, but that's fine. I'm not like that crushed by it. I would have saved $4. But I mean, $4. I mean, I could have bought a soda or something. So I'm talking to the manager and I'm just messing around with her. And I'm like, "What are you trying to do to me? It's a dollar less, and I just bought them over here at the Hot Topic." And she was like, "I'm gonna make you real mad real quick, and they're actually buy 2 get 1 free."
Oh,
I wanted to just smash everything that was in my hands.
They weren't Hot Topic exclusives, right? They were just the regular ones.
No, they were the exclusive ones.
How did they get Hot Topic exclusive ones? I've never seen that. Man, that's
boxes. The boxes that were listed as exclusive, because there's not box lunch exclusive ones, right?
No, there isn't.
No, they were exclusive. So I was mad. I was like, oh, I told that lady, I was like, I'm gonna fight you right now.
I'm gonna fight a lady.
That brings me to an important lesson. Before you buy stuff, especially stuff that you know is gonna be there in like 10 minutes, look around. Don't jump the gun and buy your mystery minis at the first place you go to. Look around in the mall. You might get a better deal.
Yeah, always shop for better prices.
I was excited because I hadn't seen them anywhere. And then I screwed myself.
Did you get anything good?
No, I don't think so. Okay, like full disclosure, I don't know anybody's names for Lord of the Rings. I've seen the first movie. I went to the theater to see the second movie and I fell asleep and I never watched the third one.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't finished. I saw the first Hobbit movie. Didn't see any of the other ones. I'm a really, really bad nerd.
Well, the Lord of the Rings mystery minis are pretty awesome, though. I will say that.
Yeah, it's just I like high fantasy in general, so that's why I got Gimli. That's the bearded dwarf.
Yes,
so I got that guy. I got Sean Bean.
Yes,
I just know. And then I got Frodo, and then I got another brown-haired guy.
Boromir Sean Bean, I think. I'm probably
okay. So I got that one, and then I got another brown-haired man. Couldn't tell you who.
Oh my gosh!
I'm Told you, dude. I like a lot of things, but just Lord of the Rings kind of falls under Harry Potter with me, where I'm just like, it's there, it's not bad. I've just never been interested.
Sean Bean, aka Triple H
Always
doppelganger, always dies in all of his movies. Always
Everything.
dies. Always dies. If you just look at that compilation.
Also, the boxerman you're talking about, his name is Cletus Selden.
Yeah, there you go.
He's the Funko
And
fan.
he gave all of those pop away to sick children, so that was awesome.
Yes.
That's our collector stories of the week. Again, we encourage our audience to email us at info@popcollectorsalliance.com. Let us know your Funko or Funko Pop story of the week. We want to hear from you guys. So this week's Collector's Corner will be brief. There's not a ton of things, but I'm just going to go over it really quick. Some of the items that are coming up or have already released. If you got it already, I just want to say the Super Saiyan Future Trunks. Our Hot Topics are getting them tomorrow. And good news for me that you guys won't hear this till Saturday. No, I'm joking. But
you can't beat me to them.
They get them tomorrow. They were released online last night, so I'm sure over the next couple days they'll trickle in. A couple more moments to go live. GameStop is coming up with a Charged Creeper and the Diamond Armored Steve. Llama Cusco from Emperor's New Groove will be at Hot Topic this month. Sailor Moon 3-pack, also a Hot Topic exclusive releasing this month. Robin with Baby, he has it like the from Teen Titans Go, a Hot Topic exclusive, like with a baby Bjorn.
Right now,
it's live right now online. Hopefully, it'll still be live on Saturday. If not, check it out in the stores. Also, Overwatch Series 3 pops are coming out very soon within the next couple months. They are available for pre-order at GameStop. So if any of them are exclusive, and I think there's one or two of them that are exclusive, go and pre-order them now so that you make sure that you get them. Also, there have been a leak of the Funko catalog for 2018 and some of the upcoming pop that are coming out there. Jurassic Park has a line coming out, and it comes with a pop ride too, from the original Jurassic Park movie. The Care Bears. There's tons of Rick and Morty. I have Noob in capital letters because Noob is my favorite character from Rick and Morty, and he's going to be in their Series 2 mystery minis. The unfortunate thing about the Funko catalog is they often don't release some of the exclusives that are going to be in there. But again, Noob is in that mystery mini Series 2 for Rick and Morty, and a lot of Rick and Morty coming out, plushies and other items.
I really do hope that they do like a pop Noob, like maybe make him an exclusive for someone like Target. That would be great.
Or a convention exclusive. I would love that as a San Diego.
Oh yeah, dude, like New York or San Diego.
Limited 500 pieces.
I would be so mad. I would be breaking boards. I would go.
I would have to.
36 hours.
And I would just say noob.
Like you're just chanting. Everybody else is there for like some crazy new Batman that's gonna be out. That's gonna be like $10,000. No, we just want noob. That's it. We flew all the way down here for this.
Rick's like, this guy gets it. But FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy.
Can we be honest for a second? And like, I hope anybody that actually works at Funko's listening. Let's pass a note on to creative. Stop making Five Nights at Freddy's anything. Like nobody's buying these. They're not worth anything, and nobody cares except for like 11-year-old boys. That's my rant.
Ta-da! I don't like the FNAF stuff either. My kids like it. They're 10.
Because how old are they? How old are your boys?
As I said, they're 10.
Exactly. So that's the only one buying it.
And for some reason, that game with no story or anything to it, and
there's
just
15 versions. There's like number.
A bear
15.
jumps out at you, and they sell millions, if not billions, of dollars worth of toys. Another line of Halo Pop are coming out this year. Another line of Destiny Pop are coming out. The Garbage Pail Kids, Gwenum, which is Gwen and Venom, and then my favorite, English Premier League Pops. So I'm like super stoked.
Nobody cares about sports ball.
They got Liverpool, El Football, or soccer as we Americans call it, coming out. So there's more. We'll put those images on our Facebook page so that you can check it out. So just a reminder of our social media. It's facebook.com/popcollectorsalliance, @Pop Alliance Pod on Twitter and Instagram. to get there. Our Twitter needs to be brought up. It needs to get strong because it ain't strong right now, and it's my fault. But if you think about it, when you're online and you have to post something on Facebook and you're doing it from your phone, you're like, really? Do I really have to post this to Twitter too? Do I really have to do it? But no, I need to do better. I've let you guys down on my Twitter game. But our
I think I'm just gonna automate it so we don't even have to think about it. It's just as soon as you post to Facebook, it's magically be on Twitter.
Does it do that? Can it do it?
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Ding, ding, ding. Rick has to do less work. But follow us on what's the other one?
Instagram?
No, we did Instagram, Twitter at Pop Alliance Pod.
Facebook
we already did. Facebook.com/Pop Collectors Alliance. And email us.
It's late.
info@popcollectorsalliance.com. We really want to get some emails. We know that there's listeners out there and we really appreciate it. This means a lot to us. And I really mean that. We really want to give back to the community. There may be an event coming up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for people to come and meet us and do a pop swap that we may sponsor and give a lot of good door prizes away. I've got a wheel I need to get used to. And then proceeds are going to go to charity for that event. We'll give to the church. I think it's held in like a church area, but the church does a lot of charities for the local area and does a good job of that. And they're nice enough to let people do that. So all the proceeds for that are donated to the church, and I think they give it to multiple local foundations. So that's really cool. And that should be announced before too long. But again, we want to hear back from you guys, and we really appreciate you guys listening to the show and all the positive feedback that we've gotten to date. I want to pimp Astro Panda Productions. We have tons of podcasts and more hopefully coming this year. Big things on the horizon for that. You can go to astropandaproductions.com to get more information on that. Piper?
Make sure you check out nerdlifetx.com. That is my website. That is all about nerd culture and video games and board games and all the fun things that we all like to experience in our lives. There's something there for everybody. You can also follow me on Twitter at GWS Rancor, and make sure you follow the Pop Collectors Alliance.
Also, friend of the show, Matt, as we mentioned before, has a new website up. It's called The Geekiest Cult. They cover everything and anything in between of everything that's geek. And you can check it out at thegeekiestcult.com. A lot of good articles up there. Friend of the show, helps us moderate our live cost plus shipping events. So do him a favor and check out what he has to offer in the content there. And the last thing I want to mention before we go is check us out on all of our social media for our next live cost plus shipping event. That will be Saturday, January the 20th. By the time you're listening, that's 7 days away from the release of this episode at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So please.
What time in Sweden?
72 hours time.
72 hours later?
Yeah. And no, I don't know what that is. Plus 6 GMT.
Well, they can't get them anyway because we ain't shipping over the ocean.
Yeah, no international this time. It's just hard for us. I think what we'll do.
Didn't we say last time that we would include international this next one?
Well, we may do it. It might change before that time. So we'll see what we can work out. It's just expensive. We may open it up to international because I see people on the interwebs listening to us in Japan and Norway, all kinds of good stuff. So we might do this next cost plus shipping but just know that you're going to have to be responsible for the shipping all the way wherever you are across the globe. So it is cost plus shipping. You'll get a good deal on a hard to find pop maybe if you win, and then you just have to pay that looming shipping cost. Oh, and next week's episode is our Finder Series Volume 6, and that's going to be on Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble next week. Funko Finder Series Volume 6, Barnes and Noble. And until next time, I'm Rick.
I'm Piper.
Good night.
Bye.